How's everybody doing today? Good, I hope. Make sure that everything is copacetic. Alright. So, by request, I'm going to move this mic here. By request, I'm going to have a Kobolds and Catacombs Musings stream. Hopefully my friend will hop on at some point tonight, because he is specifically the one that requested that I have this. So I'm going to wait just a few more minutes, get some stuff set up here. Yeah, the ancient secret. That's who I'm waiting for here. Hopefully he'll come online. He's the one who suggested that I have this review here. So Anywho, maybe I'll wait about 2 or 3 more minutes and then start the review. Maybe he can just watch the video on demand later. My wife was kind enough to put our daughter to bed tonight, which gave me the evening to do some streaming. So that's what we're going to do. Probably most of this stream is going to be taken up with just the card musings. I don't consider myself an expert by any means whatsoever. This is just basically going to be my thoughts on what my first impressions of the cards. I have not seen all of the cards yet. I did do a very quick perusal of some of the cards that had been shown on the Facebook page. Probably about, I think maybe I went through about 30 or so. As of this moment, I think there is, about 75 that have been revealed. I'm sure that's probably not all of the ones that are in the set, but we're going to see what they have revealed. We're going to give our thoughts on them. So let's just go ahead and get started. I've already got this set up for a basically a screenshot of the Facebook page, and we're going to check these cards out. So this is the main artwork for Kobolds and Catacombs. Looks pretty cool. I love the whole going to seek treasure theme. Speaking of this getting treasure deal, the thing that I'm most excited about as far as this expansion is concerned is actually that extra single player mode. Let me turn this music down a little bit. It's causing me to not concentrate very well. Alright, so what I'm most excited about is this new solo mode that allows you to kind of test your limits and kind of progressively gets harder by each stage and thing. It's sort of a more RNG, less predictable way of doing a like one of those solo story modes over and over again, but it's way more replayable than, you know, having beat one of the story modes like Blackrock Mountain or something. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Speaking of which, I still have all of those except for Noxramas. I have all of those that I still need to do the hard mode on to get those card backs. I've done the Noxramas one, but I haven't done any of the rest of them for those card backs, so I've got to do that at some point. Maybe I'll stream that in the future. So anyway, here we have Kobolds and Catacombs. Let's check out our first card. First card, Lesser Jasper Spellstone. Deal 2 damage to a minion. Gain 3 armor to upgrade. So this seems like something that would really benefit the warrior. Does not appear to be a specific class's card. Usually around the text you have a color to signify that it's just for a specific class, but I don't see that, so this might be for all classes. So deal 2 damage to a minion. That's essentially that priest spell that does 2 damage for 1 mana. However, you can upgrade it by gaining armor. So let's check out what it does. If you gain 3 armor, then you can do 4 damage to a minion for 1, which is really good. So really all you got to do is upgrade it once to make it pretty awesome. But again, you got to be able to gain armor, and not many classes can do that very easily. So I'm thinking this is mostly going to be used in warrior decks, maybe control warrior decks, and then obviously you can do 6 damage to a minion after it's upgraded a second time. Yeah, this would be a pretty cheap, very nice removal for a warrior. Now what I'm wondering is, yeah, there's a question here from somebody that says, do you need to have it in hand to upgrade? Yeah, that was my question. I'm assuming yes, you do have to have it in hand to upgrade, but that I don't know. Alright, so back to where we were at. Next one, Lesser Sapphire Spellstone. This is another one of those upgrade thing. This is obviously a shaman card. So maybe this is faded red here, and this is supposed to be a warrior card, but just does not have that obvious color in it that this one does. Maybe they screenshotted the golden version. No, this has got to be a warrior card. Anyway, so Lesser Sapphire Spellstone. Summon 1 copy of a friendly minion. This is quite expensive. Overload 3 mana crystals to upgrade. Let's see here. This is not what I was trying to do here. That is. Okay. So, summon 2 copies of a friendly minion. And then summon 3 copies of a friendly minion. I guess this would be pretty good in Death Rattle decks. But it's really expensive. So, I mean, you got to have some minions on board, or at least 1 minion on board that has some staying power. Wouldn't this be amazing though to pull off on a Ragnaros? Instantly 4 rags on board for 7 mana. That's pretty cool. All right. Next card. Battle Cry. Recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. Recruit is that one of those new mechanics that they announced. It's not necessarily brand new because we've got some minions in the game already that do this sort of. But this is part of the Battle Cry, so it's like the moment you play it on board, it pulls it. So I don't know. I mean, that could be good. It's kind of expensive for a 2/4. Pulls a minion that costs 4 or less. I could see Shaman trying to pull it 7/7 on board for free using this. Then again, they might have already played it the previous turn. I don't know. It does seem like it would be good in a Shaman deck because of the fact that you bypass the overload thing. Also, side note, this is the most dare I say explicit artwork that I've seen from Blizzard. I mean, the succubus is kind of sexy, but this is like full on. Well, I think maybe it's just the color that's used, because this looked like full-on bare boob with just some kind of wire over it, but maybe it's just the same. It's just a cream-colored armor. You gotta love female armor that exactly fits their boob size, though. That's one amazing armorer. So anyway, yeah, I can see this being used in a shaman deck, probably most likely, because they have some seriously nice stat minions that can cost 4 or less, including that 7/7. So, and plus they're all about trying to fill the board up, and this is a nice way to do that. This is a more expensive way of pulling a decent minion out than what they used to have, which was that totem that pulled out another random totem, which they nerfed. But I can definitely see shamans using this. I can't see many other, unless it's some kind of meme deck or something that I'm not thinking of. But most certainly in shaman decks. I wonder how many times this is going to be shown on Trollden, a shaman that drops one of these and pulls out the shaman's 7/7 for 4. Actually, this would be for 5, but they would have no overload, which is the bonus. Anyway, next card. 6 mana, Rin, the First Disciple. This is a warlock card. Taunt, Death Rattle, add the first seal to your hand. Oh, I've heard about this card. Alright, so let's check out these seals. So this is, I'm guessing, a pretty dang slow card, because first you got to play this on turn 6. This adds the first seal to your hand, which is this card, the first seal. Summon a 2/2. So this is a very expensive 5 cost 2/2. Also very, very slow. Add the second seal to your hand. So then summon a 3/3. How many are there? A 4/4, and then a 5/5, and then a 6/6, and then you get the Devourer. Destroy your opponent's deck. So, okay, so we got the 6 mana, and then you got the 2/2 one, the 3/3 one, the 4/4 one, the 5/5 one, the 6/6 one, and then the final one. So that's like 7 turns where you're basically just playing this thing and your opponent's killing you. So this would be played on turn 7, so you could only play 1, and then you could only play the 3/3 on turn 8, then the 4/4 on turn 9, and then turn 10 you could do the 5/5 and the 6/6, and then turn 11 you could place the Devourer dude. Yeah, seems real slow. I mean, this is definitely like just a meme card. Now, it's possible you could run that 2 cost spell that allows you to use your health to cast the spell instead to speed this up a bit, but then you're taking some serious damage, because these things cost 5 a piece. So let's say you use both of them. This cost you 4, and then you just played 2 of them. That's 10 health gone. Not even from your opponent, just from yourself to try to speed this process up. Rest assured, I'm probably going to try to play this card, just because I love playing meme decks. But yeah, this is like, if you thought Mill Rogue or Mill Druid was slow, or you know, the Control Warrior of old was slow, this is slower than that. I mean, we're talking damn slow. Definitely good for the memes though. So next, Carnivorous Cube. Battle Cry, destroy a friendly minion. Death Rattle, summon 2. Now this is really powerful. This is pretty freaking awesome. Can you imagine dropping a Sylvanas? If the Sylvanas survives, then essentially you get 3 Sylvanases for the price of 5 mana. Well, 2 more Sylvanases for the price of 5 mana. That's really good. You could also destroy the Blood of the Ancient One if he happens to survive. And then if your Carnivorous Cube dies, then suddenly you get 2 copies of it, which automatically gives you the Ancient One. 30-30 on board. This guy's gonna get used. He seems pretty decent. Yeah. Paladin card. Dry Gulch Jailer. Add 3 Silverhand recruits to your hand. So this is essentially a 5 cost 4/4. This doesn't really seem that great, because the Paladin has a 5 cost that summons 5 Silverhand recruits. So you get 1 extra Silverhand recruit with that spell than you do with this guy. Now this guy does seem like it might benefit, and I'm speaking from a wild perspective here, but it might benefit rogues in case, let's say they play Piloted Shredder, and if the Piloted Shredder pulls this guy, that basically gives them some really nice activators, because that's 3 1/1s in hand that they can use to activate combos. But that's like a really rare instance. I can't see Paladin using this unless it's specifically for the recruit deck or the quest Paladin. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it'd be kind of nice for the quest Paladin, because you've got some for sure, like throw a body out there for 1 and then buff that kind of thing. But it still seems like a worse version of the 5 cost spell they have that pulls out 5 recruits. Hey Joe, how's it going? Thanks for joining. I'm doing this stream specifically for a guy who requested before I went on vacation a couple weeks ago to do a stream talking about the new cards, which I've never done before, but I told him that I would do it. So I'm just giving my thoughts on each card, on what I think about each one of them. I haven't went through a whole lot of the cards yet, mainly just a couple of the early spell ones, and then the meme one from this one right here. This is a total meme card that takes forever to pull off. You probably, the chances of you pulling this destroy the other person's deck thing is like slim to none because of the amount of turns it takes to do it. Yeah, and it's specifically for Warlock too. So I don't know. I don't see many people pulling this off. They did make it pretty dang hard. This is probably the best card so far that I've reviewed. This can definitely do some pretty awesome things. So let's see here. Yeah, we got to this one. So here's our next one. Kobold Illusionist. Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand. This is a rogue card? I'm trying to think of a situation this would be useful. Maybe if you were trying to pull Malagos, like if you have a Malagos rogue, then this would obviously sit in your hand until you had Malagos in hand, but this would possibly... But, I mean, I don't know. This is still... In order to get for sure use out of having a 1/1 Malagos on board, you'd probably have to kill it yourself so you could get the benefit of the Malagos, because the chances are too high of your opponent taking it out and then taking out your 1/1 the same turn. But who knows? I mean, there's probably a situation that I haven't thought of. Let's see. Quest Rogue, yeah, that's possible. 1/1 copy of a minion. I wonder if that works for... Yeah, I guess that does work for quests. Summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand. So it doesn't have to be played to count for the quest, because I thought you had to play the minion in order for the quest to count it. If it's just pulled from your hand, like if that 2/6 taunt that pulls stuff from people's hands, does it count for the quest? I don't know. It's a good question. Alright, next card. Wandering Monster. Hunter Secret. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as the new target. This is pretty good. This is essentially a better Paladin Noble Sacrifice, otherwise known as Get Down! Get Down! Because it's a 3-cost. So this could be, I don't know, I guess it's any 3-cost minion as the new target. It wouldn't accidentally pull Master Chest, would it? I think the only one that can pull Master Chest is the Fox dude. But 3-cost minion. There's some pretty good 3-cost minions out there. It could pull out the, speaking from, wild perspective again, could pull that Deathlord taunt, 2/8. That's pretty good. Most of the time. Yeah. This is pretty usable. I'd say if you're going to play Hunter, particularly Secret Hunter, I've been playing Beast Hunter, but this might even be... I don't have any secrets in my Beast Hunter, but this is pretty decent. I'd say for any Control Hunter or any Secret Hunter, this is probably going to be a must-have. good. Okay, Aluneth. That's probably how you say it. Aluneth. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. What? I'm assuming this is a mage card because of the blue outline here. So 6 cost, 0/3 mana. It draws you 3 cards at the end of every turn. That could really backfire on somebody. 1, because it's a 0 attack weapon. You're not, I guess, I'm guessing here. I don't know exactly how the mechanics work, but I'm guessing the I can't even think of the word right now. The 3, whatever it is not going to go down because you're not attacking with it. Maybe they have it to where after a 3-card draw, it takes out one of durability. That's what I'm trying to think of. It's not going to take out durability unless you attack with it, right? Unless they have it set up to where when it draws the 3 cards, it takes out one of the durabilities. That kind of would be pretty good if it did that, because then that's like a, unless the opponent destroys the weapon, that's a for sure 9-card draw for 6 mana, divided out over 3 turns. But yeah, I don't know, like 9 cards over 3 turns. If you're a freeze mage, most of the time you're conserving cards in your hand. You're not like just throwing out cards like crazy for freeze mage. You're very carefully managing your hand. So if you play this weapon, you're probably going to overdraw. I mean, I would guess. I don't know. I don't see this as being really, really good, because obviously I'm not seeing a situation where it would be good, but it's definitely an interesting card. That's true. I mean, I guess you could play this weapon. You could play this weapon instead of 2 arcane intellects, but then the catch there is if you're just playing this one weapon because you think, okay, this is drawing me 9 cards rather than 6 cards, and saving me a card in the deck, your percentage of drawing this is going to be less than if you have 2 arcane intellects in the deck, because I'm assuming you're just going to have this one weapon, because what you're trying to do is save yourself a card or give yourself another card that you could use in freeze mage, in a freeze mage deck. So you would really be hoping to draw this in order to get your draw that you wanted, since you're only running 1 in the deck. So your percentage of having draw when you needed draw for freeze mage would be lower. So that's something to consider as well. Okay, next card. Unidentified Elixir. 3 mana, give a minion 2/2, gains a bonus effect in your hand. Okay, priests have a 3 mana 2/6. So let's check out these bonus effects and see if it makes them better. Give a minion 2/2 and lifesteal. That's good. Give a minion 2/2 and divine shield. That's really good. 2/2, summon a 1/1 copy of it. Could be good. If you imagine pulling this off on the obsidian statue, or Rag, or Ysera, that's not bad. I'd say it's the third one is the least useful out of the first 3, considering the amount of situations it would be good in. But that's still good. And Elixir of Hope, give a minion +2/2 and Death Rattle. Return the minion to your hand. Whoa. That's the best one. Oh man, that's really good. This makes it really good. Yeah, I mean, you've got the 3 mana Valen's Chosen gives them 2/6 and +1 spell damage, but this seems to be much more powerful just because of the versatility of it. Now it is random, so when you draw it, it's probably just does it change in your hand every turn, or is it just it decides what it wants to be when you draw it, and then that's the way it stays? Because that would be an interesting mechanic as well. I mean, you could have it and think, okay, next turn I'm going to use this on such and such because it gives him a divine shield and he needs a divine shield to survive, and then the next turn you have it as Elixir of Life instead. I don't know. That would be interesting. Oh, sorry, I missed one of your questions. Is there a card that can destroy your own weapon? Yeah, you could play Blingtron, which would equip a different weapon, or you could always have Medivh in your deck. You could play that weapon, draw as many cards as you need. Like, say you only needed 6 cards out of it, or if you wanted to avoid overdrawing the next turn, you could play Medivh, and that would destroy that weapon and equip the weapon that he equips for pulling out other minions based on spells. I can't remember what. I don't have all the card names memorized, but I can't remember the weapon that he uses. But yeah, those 2 cards. A long time ago, I used to run Blingtron in my mage deck because I ran Harrison Jones, and that kind of gave me a for sure. I mean, it was a turn 10 play, but it gave me a for sure card draw from the opponent's weapon, even if I was facing a class that didn't play weapons, or if I was playing a class that did play weapons, but that particular deck didn't have weapons in it. It was still giving me value for the Harrison Jones. Again, that was a turn 10 play, but it did give me a free weapon and immediately take care of the other person's weapon. So even if they got, a really good weapon, they couldn't use it because I'd immediately Harrison Jones after Blingtroning. But yeah, Blingtron and Medivh would take care of the weapon not losing durability. Yeah, there's also that pirate, what's his name, Greenskin or something. He's a 5 mana, 5/4, and he gives your weapon +1/+1. So you could play him as well to give your weapon an attack. I think there's another pirate that gives your weapon plus attack. A newer pirate, and I can't remember what he's. I think he's like a plus. I think he just gives your weapon attack. He doesn't give it extra durability, but the legendary greenskin dude does give him plus attack, plus durability. Alright, so back to this thing. Elixir of Hope, give a minion +2/+2. Death Rattle, yeah. This is probably one of the most powerful cards I've seen from this expansion so far, which makes me happy because Priest is one of my favorite classes. I know a lot of people have gotten pissed at Priest the past season due to Priests being able to play some pretty powerful decks like Big Priest and in Wild you've still got Reno Priests like I like to play. My personal favorite deck of all time is now a Quest Reno Priest, which is freaking fantastic. I get to use all the death rattle stuff because there's some awesome death rattle minions. I get to do the quest, which is awesome because you get that plus 40 health. I get to sometimes change into Ragnaros, a 40 health Ragnaros, which is freaking hilariously fun to play. I get to play Nazoth, so I can bring back all the death rattles. I've got Reno for the aggro decks. I've also got a bunch of removal for aggro decks. I can steal people's cards with the Entomb and stuff. It's got a lot of stuff. Like, it's really, really versatile, really powerful, and extremely fun to play. Oh, and the other thing, my favorite type of priest to play all the time, before the Lich King expansion came out, was the Shadow Form Priest, and that was rarely played before this Lich King version of the priest came out. And now that they basically made a really powerful Shadow Form Priest with that card, because now you can essentially Raza and have a free Shadow Form power that you can hit multiple times. I was actually playing a version of that deck before they had that card using the Shadow Form. So I would use that the guy he's a 5/4, but every time you use your hero power, he does 4 damage to both people. I had an OTK deck that utilized him and the Shadow Form. And then they came out with the Lich King guy that not only turns your priest into a really powerful Shadow Form priest, but also on the turn he plays, like, eliminates all the scary minions from the board, which is another phenomenal thing. Like, it's probably one of the best Lich King cards that came out. They've been doing some nice things for priests lately. Alright, so back to the cards. So yeah, this is a good card. Really good card. Warrior card. Gather your party. Recruit a minion. For 6? You're pulling a random minion from your deck, which could be a 1-cost minion, for 6. I can only see this used in meme decks, like the all legendary decks that have like really expensive minions and stuff. You could put this in there and be more likely to pull out a big minion. This is like a way more expensive, well, not way more, but more expensive way of pulling a Barnes. Like, Barnes pulls the Yashar out. It's a 1/1, so, but the 1/1 might pull the 10/10, so then you get 2 Yashars out for 4. Whereas this might pull the 1/10/10 out, which would pull something else out. But I don't know. I see this as too expensive to play and not really useful. Okay. Marin the Fox. Everybody's been playing with this already. I've used it a few times. I have it in a couple of decks. It's pretty fun to play. I would say 90% of the time when I'm able to take out the chest, I get the golden kobold. I don't know why, but this comes out every single time for me. Well, 95% of the time this comes out, and this is never useful for me. I don't ever want to change my hand into legendary minions. I rarely wanted to change my hand into legendary minions whenever I was playing what's her face? The Explorer lady that gave you the golden monkey. I rarely wanted to do it then. So yeah, this has been aggravating. But I got this once, which is kind of cool. I also I've never gotten this one. This one I got once, and it was awesome because I pulled out. I discovered two rags. So 2 rags came out, 16 damage, bam, 1 hit. So yeah, he's a fun card to play. I don't think he's competitive, but he's a fun card to play, and I'm all about fun, so I play him. Hunter card that costs 7. Are they trying to enhance control Hunter? Destroy your opponent's left and right most minions. This is sort of like a double assassinate. If people start playing it, it's very expensive. I mean, maybe a control hunter would run 1 just in case, and only control hunter. I don't see anybody else using this. If they used 1, I could see it being somewhat useful because it bypasses stealth, bypasses the can't target minion stuff. But what this is going to do, if people start actually playing this regularly, is it's going to force people to think about their minion placement for once. I think if more rogues played Betrayal, then people would be forced to think about the placement of their minions. Because even back when people were playing Piloted Shredder in every single deck that was out there, they still didn't think about what minion would come out of Piloted Shredder and why it might be important to think about the placement of their Piloted Shredder. Because what if the totem that enhances the minions beside it with +2 attack comes out, and you placed it on the far left? Then only 1 minion would get that bonus. But if you had placed the Piloted Shredder in the middle of the 2 minions that you had out on the board, then both of them would have gotten that thing. But nobody at the time, nobody ever placed it correctly, except maybe like the top streamers or something. I think shamans have to think more about placement than anybody else. But if more rogues played Betrayal, then I think more people would be forced to actually think about that all the time. So same thing with this. If Hunter played this regularly in decks, then people would be like, okay, I need to think about what is going to be my left and rightmost minions against this guy, because he might have crushing walls. I still don't see it used often, but I can see a control hunter dropping 1 of these in his deck, since Hunter doesn't really have a whole lot of reliable removal. Okay, next. Yes, I agree, Joe. I don't think the Hunter's getting much love lately, which I'm fine with, personally. I mean, I have been enjoying playing Beast Hunter every once in a while for fun, but I still have a somewhat bad taste in my mouth from Face Hunter of yesteryear. Like, I freaking, like, it was enough to almost make me quit the game back in the day. I was losing to it so much. It was the original Pirate Warrior when it came out. Now I'm not feeling as bad about Hunter anymore, but I still am like iffy about facing Hunters a lot, just because of that in the back of my mind. Like, is this a face Hunter? You know. But I'd say more than anything else, I don't like facing Shaman, because for almost the same reasons. Not because of like face Shaman or anything, but because Shaman was so powerful for so many seasons in a row. Most recently, not last season so much, but previous to that, it was like literally 6 to 7 seasons in a row that Shaman was completely dominating, starting with whenever they released the 4-mana 7/7 guy, and they were also running the other totems, and you know, the overload decks and everything was just getting way out of hand, and Shaman was rolling over everybody, and that just continued for like 6 straight seasons. So I got to about the same place that I was with Face Hunter way back in the day, where I was like, I don't even want to face a Shaman at all. I'll just give you the win if you're a Shaman and move on. But anyway, Hunter at this point in time, I'm going off on a rabbit trail here, but Hunter at this point in time is just, I still see Hunter in Wild, because I play Wild Casual all the time, and there's plenty of Hunters still played in Wild Casual, but they are more into like testing out control decks and trying Reno decks and different experimental stuff, which is fine. Like, I don't mind facing those Hunters, but yeah, still have flashbacks to face Hunter. Okay, moving on. Sorry. Dragon Soul, another 0/3, but this one's much cheaper than the other one, half as much. This looks like anybody can play it, I guess. Unless, no, this might be Priest. Is this white, or does this mean it's common? I'm guessing, oh, it's Priest, because the Dragon Spirit card that comes out of it is yeah, colored white. So this is a Priest weapon. After you cast 3 spells in one turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. I can see some synergy with the other legendary guy that keeps giving you spells over and over. So you'd probably have to play this on a previous turn, and then play the legendary guy with some cheap spells the next turn, and then you could get some spells out of it, plus pull out a 5/5 dragon. This is later game stuff, though. Way later game stuff. Could be useful. Very, definitely for very spell-heavy priests. I play minion-heavy priests because of the quest and stuff that I'm trying to pull off. So lots of death rattles and everything. But I think I'd probably still go for Medivh over this for that weapon, because you're pulling out potentially a very powerful minion every single spell you use. And this one is encouraging you to just like dump all your spells, which is not usually smart. You usually want to, as a priest, conserve what you have for reactionary stuff to what your opponent does. So this could encourage bad behavior, but could be good too. I'd still say the other priest cards that we've seen so far are better. Okay. This card looks great. Feral Gibberer. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand. only got 1 health. I could see Priest using it because they could immediately boost the health of it as soon as they drop it, and then keep. This seems sort of like the what do you call it? The tunneler, weasel tunneler, or whatever. But this, you can just keep repeating how many of them you get. Aggro Priest, possibly. I mean, playing this against a mage it's a throwaway card, but against any other class, could be good. It's going to force warlocks to use or pack a lot more of that 1-cost spell that draws you a card for killing a minion. I'm trying to think of situations where you'd want to use this. Zulok. Throw one out there and keep dropping some stuff. Could this make the warrior charge card useful again? Because they nerfed that card into the ground, but if you played this and you immediately charged it, then you'd automatically get another one. I mean, I can't see it as like really useful or anything. It's definitely meme worthy because you could come up with some interesting stuff to do with it. But yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of use for it. Yeah, Quest Rogue. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's two cards then. That would be useful in Quest Rogue. You could use this in conjunction with the other card that gives you a 1/1 copy, or summons a 1/1 copy. That's not bad. Assuming that the summoning of the 1/1 copy counts for the quest instead of playing it. Jury's still out on that. I'm not sure. I didn't actually play a whole lot of Quest Rogue whenever it came out. I played some, but yeah, not enough to like be intimately familiar with the deck. Next, another betrayal card. Sudden Betrayal. Oh, it's a secret. Rogues get secrets now? Oh, I see the caption says the first of 3 rogue secrets. So rogues get secrets now. That's kind of cool and very lore friendly, I would say. I mean, it makes sense for a rogue to have secrets. When a minion attacks your hero, instead it attacks one of its neighbors. I'm assuming it's a friendly then. So, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Now these are probably going to be somewhat simple to play around so far because there's only 3 secrets that it could be. So once people familiarize themselves with the 3 secrets, that it would probably be somewhat easy to play around. But again, this is something that is going to force people to think about minion placement. And I bet you this is going to be played a whole lot more than the other betrayal card. Minion attacks your hero, because it's a common too, so everybody's going to be getting it. Attacks your hero instead, yeah. So now you're going to have to think about, okay, when I place this minion, who am I placing it next to, and am I willing for this this minion to kill the one next to it, or for the one next to it to kill this minion. Good stuff. I like this card. This is a good card. $50 more wins with Rogue to make gold. Nice. Last gold class. Yes. Yeah. Rogue was my last gold class too. It is one of the hardest to get wins with. But I think they are. It looks like they're giving Priest and Rogue both some love this expansion. So far, not so much with Warlock. Not so much with Hunter. Although the one secret that summons a random 3 cost is pretty good. That's a pretty good card for Hunter. It's so far not so much with Paladin. I'm blanking on the other classes. Oh, Warrior. Not really so much with Warrior, because the stuff that came out with Warrior is really expensive and not that great. Very RNG based and only for meme decks. Interesting cards for Mage. I'm not going to go on as far as saying they're great cards, but interesting cards that might, make things a little bit more interesting. I'm also curious as to if they're going to have any kind of announcement either around or after this expansion about moving the ice block to like exclusively wild only. They did talk about that they were considering it and everything, but I'm not sure where that's at, where the discussions are with it, if they're actually planning on doing it, or if it's just something that was discussed or whatever. But that'll be interesting if they do that. Okay, so cheat death. Oh, this is another rogue secret. When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand. It costs 2 less. Another one for Quest Rogue. We're going to be seeing a lot more Quest Rogues. That's 3 good cards for Quest Rogue. With interesting mechanics to it too, instead of just the pull it back in your hand kind of thing. With Shadow Step, you're using secrets and stuff instead. That's cool. Yeah, Prince Kellisith with this is money. Okay, here's another priest card. 4 cost 3/3. A little expensive for the stats, but let's see what it does. Battle Cry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all. Wow. A 4 cost excavated evil. So this is a cheaper excavated evil, and you get a minion out of it. This is a good card. A very good card for dragon priests. Yeah, this just made dragon priests that much better. Man, they're giving priests some good stuff. Like, I haven't seen a bad priest card yet, except for possibly that that weapon. But even the weapon is not that bad. I mean, it's like a slightly worse, like Medivh's weapon thing, but it's not horrible. I mean, the other classes, like the warrior's 6 cost recruit a random minion, that's horrible. But I mean, this is good. Next card. They're releasing a lot more weapons in this. An 8 cost 3/3 weapon. So this better be good. After your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. Doesn't seem that great. I mean, you can discover a spell, so you're getting to pick what the spell is, but it's still getting cast on random targets. So, and you only get to do this 3 times for 8. This looks like it's a shaman one. All right, so spells shamans have. They have some pretty powerful spells that can eliminate boards. So you could technically pull off like the elemental one that does like 4 or 5 damage to all minions without the 5 overload that comes with it. Well, technically you still would be doing 5 overload because this weapon cost 8. So yeah, it's essentially the same thing, because that spell costs like 3, but it overloads you for 5 for the next turn. So, I mean, you'd be playing this weapon, which is essentially your overload turn, and then once you've played the weapon, as long as your opponent doesn't, destroy the weapon, which is probably going to be likely. Most people, after seeing the amount of weapons released in this expansion, are probably going to be playing some oozes, probably going to be playing some Harrison Joneses. But assuming this doesn't get destroyed, then you could get some useful spells out of it. I mean, but it's still random. So let's say that your opponent has 3 minions on the board and your opponent only has 5 health. So you attack with this weapon to their face or to the minion. Like, say this kills one of the minions. And then you discover, Lava Burst or something, which does 5 damage. So that's still only a 33% chance that it's going to hit their face, because you can't pick that it's going to hit their face. It's still random. So they've got enough RNG in this card to where it's not that great for the cost. If this weapon costs like 5, then it would be really good, and probably most shamans would run it. But it's very expensive. Very expensive for what it does. Yeah. Especially with it just hitting random targets. Control Shaman might use this. Maybe. That's about it. Alright, next. Yeah, definitely Harrison Jones is getting some love. I used to run him in most of the decks that I played, several seasons ago when Pirate Warrior was all over the place. Okay. Branching Paths. This episode, by the way, is brought to you by my wife Ruby for putting Evelyn to bed this evening. Thank you very much, Ruby, if you watch this later, for allowing me to do this episode. All right, Branching Paths. Choose twice. Choose twice. Draw a card. Give your minions 1 attack or gain 6 armor. So you've got 3 choices, and then you get to choose twice. So these 3 will pop up twice, is how I'm getting this, I guess. Yeah, choose a path, left, right, or straight ahead. Okay. And I'm positive this is Druid, right? Okay, so how does this work with what's his face, Felon, who says both of your choices are used? Like, if you've got him on board and you pull this off, does he give you all 3 or just 2 of them? I don't know. Anyway, draw a card, give your minions 1 attack, or gain 6 armor. This seems very good in a druid token deck because give your minions 1 attack after you've been dropping minion after minion is pretty good. Plus, drawing a card is great for token decks too because you're dropping cheap cards, which means you need some card draw. So yeah, this is good for token druids. I don't see it useful in a Jade Druid deck or a quest druid. A quest druid would be more likely to play Nourish or something. Nourish is a better card anyway, but yeah, this is good in a token druid, which is token druids are doing quite well in wild ranking. At least they had the past couple of seasons anyway. I'm not sure how they're going to do with this next expansion, but I mean this does enhance them a bit. Next, okay, a paladin card, our second paladin card I think that we've seen. Level up. Give your silver hand recruits +2/+2 and taunt. This is a worse quartermaster. Well, I say worse. I say worse because you get the body with the 2/5 body with quartermaster. But with this, you give all of your recruits taunt. I mean, this is useful in specifically a recruit paladin deck, which I've played a bit of recently in the past season. But I think I'd still rather have quartermaster. I mean, this is again speaking from a wild perspective because obviously you can't play quartermaster in standard, so you'd opt for this if you were playing a recruit paladin in standard. But given the choice, speaking from a wild perspective, I would still go for quartermaster over this because when you're using quartermaster, this is sort of like your rogue burst damage play. You've been trying to get your recruits to stick all game, and most of the time the first 3 to 4 times that you're pulling out your recruits, you're kind of baiting or expecting all of them to be removed via whatever your opponent's removal spells are at the time. Once you get them to waste or use, however you see it, all of their removal spells, then towards the end of the game when you're pulling out 5 more or 3 more at a time quicker than they can take it out or even be able to eliminate all of them with removal spells, then you drop your a quartermaster to do like a really big burst turn. Most of the time when I've pulled a quartermaster, it was specifically to buff all of the guys who were already on board for a final damage push, almost sort of like a what Druid used to do with their Savage Roars. That's essentially a Savage Roar turn with recruits that were already on the board. So I said all that to say this. Because of the fact that I use the buffing of the recruits as a damage push turn, it's more of an aggressive move than a defensive reaction move. So that's another reason why I would prefer to use quartermaster over the level up card here, because level up does the same thing as quartermaster, doesn't have the body, but gives you taunt, and taunt is a defensive play. Like, I'm trying to prevent all this damage from coming to my face. So control recruit paladin, maybe I can see this, but it's again just like quartermaster, a late game play, because it costs 5 and you got to have several recruits on board for it to even be worth anything. So not the greatest, but I wouldn't say it's a horrible card either. It's just like but different, to the quartermaster. So I mean, not bad. It's definitely better than the other paladin card that we reviewed earlier. It does seem like, based on the fact that they'll be releasing this one and the other one that we reviewed, that they're encouraging people to play recruit paladin decks. So definitely something to look out for, people experimenting with recruit paladins. Yes, Harrison Jones. This belongs in a museum. This belongs in a museum. I can't imitate it. I don't know exactly what it sounds like, but yes, that's what he says. This belongs in a museum. He's been getting, speaking of Harrison Jones, he's been getting even more and more and more relevant just based on the last expansion, because the Lich King Paladin gives you an awesome weapon, which you have incentive to destroy. The Lich King Warrior gives you a weapon that you have incentive to destroy. I've been seeing a bunch of people play Medivh, which is an earlier expansion, but they've been playing him more recently, which gives you, a incentive to destroy weapon. The Lich King himself gives you a 5/3 weapon that you have incentive to destroy. And then this expansion has several more weapons coming out. So I mean, you're probably likely to see most ranked decks at this point probably run one Ooze or even run Harrison, just because of the fact that you're likely to see some weapons, no matter the class now, apparently, because now Priest has one, Mage has one, Shaman got another one. Yeah, a lot of people play Lich King, so they might get that one. So more and more likely to run some kind of weapon destroyer. Hunter card, Battle Cry, and Death Rattle. Recruit a Beast. Ooh. This is quite expensive, but considering it's a beast deck and you could be running King Crush or Savannah Highmane or any other like big beast, playing this and then having her pull out King Crush is pretty useful. That's quite expensive though. Like that's an in-game play where you're hoping for something huge to come out, because I mean you could also pull out a spider and then it wouldn't be so great. Death Rattle recruits a beast as well too, though. I'd probably try it in my Beast Hunter. This seems a bit expensive to run in my Beast Hunter, though. I'd still try it. If I get it, if I wind up getting it in one of my packs, I'll try it. But it doesn't seem like that great. Okay. Here's a warrior card. Lesser Mithril. Nice Lord of the Rings reference there. Lesser Mithril Spellstone. Summon 1/5/5 Mithril Golem. Equip a weapon to upgrade. Let's check it out. Check it out, kids. Okay. Summon 2 5/5s and then summon 3 5/5s. Okay, this is encouraging weapon warriors. Also an in-game thing, but summoning 3 5/5s for 7 seems good. I mean, that's a 7 mana 15/15 divided out over 3 minions. Seems good. Seems good. Alright, this is better than the other card that they got so far. I could see this being used in a control warrior of sorts. Alright, cool. Not too bad. Here's another weapon for Druid. Druid gets a weapon. A 5 durability weapon. Can you imagine Druid playing this and then ooh, though, it's Death Rattle though. That's a difficult Harrison Jones play, because you get a 5-card draw, but then they're immediately 5 mana ahead of you. The trade-off there may not be so great. You'd probably want to wait on the Harrison Jones until like turn 6 or 7. So it'd be like a a 2 or 3 card draw, but then you're not so far behind on mana crystals, so it's not that big of a deal. I can see Druids running this though, because I mean, man, you could run this in Blingtron, because Blingtron is 5, and so you could play this, follow that up with Blingtron the next turn, and then that's an auto 10 mana crystals, and you didn't even discard your hand. I mean, not bad. Not bad. I'm also wondering, let's see, if it says gain 10 mana crystals, let's say you're already at 10 mana when you've got this equipped. You can use your 10 mana to put some powerful minions on board, then attack with this. When it's destroyed, you get 10 more for that turn, so that's essentially 20 mana that you can use in a single turn based on this weapon. I don't know. I mean, you could Ultimate Infestation for 10, destroy this weapon, assuming it's on its last durability, and then play some of the cards that you drew with Ultimate Infestation. I don't know. I can see some interesting stuff to do with it. I mean, in Casual Wild, I have been facing some druids that are the what do you call it, the 4 mana card that gets rid of your hand but gives you all 10 mana crystals right off the bat. I've been seeing several of those kinds of druids lately, so maybe people are already trying to experiment with what kind of one of those druids they would play, but without those negative effects. I don't know. That Blingtron basically would be the only way to get an immediate 10 crystals the following turn, because you'd still have to wait another 3 turns for a Medivh play to destroy this weapon, and there's no other ways that I know of to destroy the weapon other than just, every turn attacking with it. So they're trying to ensure with this high durability that you're not able to immediately gain these 10 mana crystals. Astral, that's it. Astral Communion. Yeah, this could be a no negative effect Astral Communion, assuming you play Blingtron and draw him. Maybe. But that's a 2-card thing to get no negative effect out of gaining 10 mana crystals versus Astral Communion, which gives you the 10 mana crystals immediately, but discards your whole hand. So then you're top decking the rest of the game. Unless, of course, you drew Ultimate Infestation. But those are kind of meme decks anyway, so this is kind of sort of a meme deck card. But this is why I linger on these kinds of cards, because that's the kind of decks I like to play anyway. Okay, Rummaging Kobold. Battlecry, return one of your destroyed weapons to your hand. This is good in a warrior deck, a warrior weapon deck. That's pretty cool. Maybe mages who use Medivh might run one of these too, so you could get that weapon back and cast some more spells and get some more minions. That's worth thinking about. 3 mana 1/3 though. Kind of expensive, considering there are some 1 mana 1/3s out there. But you get that weapon back. I could see this, definitely see this being used in a warrior deck. All right, another legendary, Zola the Gorgon, Gorgonzola, Zola the Gorgon. Battle cry: choose a friendly minion, add a golden copy of it to your hand. They make this for people like me who like to make golden decks. Friendly minion, add a golden copy. I mean, this seems like it was sort of made to be like a meme kind of card, but it also seems like it could be really awesome. I mean, can you imagine playing a 7-cost, like, I don't know, Dr. Boom or something on turn 10, and then immediately playing this afterwards and getting another Dr. Boom in your hand? Golden, I might add. Seems good. If you have any surviving larger minion too. Check this out. Say you're running a dragon deck, and you put the Deathwing that pulls all of the dragons in your hand out there, and he survives. You throw Zola the Gorgon out there. That gives you another one of those Deathwings. And when the original Deathwing dies, he pulls out the second Deathwing from your hand. And now he's gold. Now he's gold. I want this card. I can definitely do some pretty cool stuff with this card. Alright, Spiteful Summoner. I think this is all classes. Battle Cry. I love gold. Battle Cry. Reveal a spell from your deck. Summon. Ooh, a random minion with the same cost. This seems pretty good. Alright, imagine you're a mage and you run Pyroblasts. This is a 6 mana, 4/4, and 10 cost minion at once for 6 mana. That seems better than even Mysterious Challenger, and that's saying something. I mean, you are revealing that you have that specific spell, so you're giving some clues to your opponent, but I mean, that's the whole chance thing that you have with the whole reveal mechanic, which they came out with in the Grand Tournament expansion. But this seems like a good card for anybody who runs good spells. I mean, more expensive spells. This would be good in a priest. I mean, it reveals a Excavated Evil, which is a 5-cost spell. Now for 6 mana, you're pulling out a 4/4 and a 5-cost minion. It's bound to be worth the 6 mana that you spent, assuming you don't run a bunch of really cheap spells. Most of the time, at least in my priests, I don't run the cheap spells. I don't run the 1-cost spells or anything like that. My spells are usually 4 or higher, so I can see this minion being useful. Pulling out a 4, 5, or 6 cost minion along with this 4/4. Not bad. Use it with Bran, then you're getting 2. Alright, man. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Seeping Oozling. We get more oozes. I'm sure Noxious will be happy about this one. 6 mana, Battle Cry. Gain the death rattle of a random minion in your deck. Ooh. Hunter only, though. Still good. Still good. This would be good in the Beast deck that I run, or Areno N'Zoth Control Hunter. And then you could run that 7-cost removal spell in that same Hunter deck. This seems pretty good. Say you run Sylvanas and it grabs Sylvanas' death rattle. You just made yourself a second Sylvanas. Except he's got 1 less health. Not bad. Same price too. Alright. Lone Champion. Battle Cry. If you control no other minions, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. Seems like a good turn 3 play. Maybe not just turn 3 too. Maybe if your board has just been eliminated by your opponent, he's a good first card to play. Taunt, Divine Shield, 2/4, nice. This seems pretty good, and it's a common card too. I would have figured it was Paladin, but Looks like it's I mean, an all class card, not common, but all class card. Not bad. Silver Vanguard, Death Rattle. Recruit an 8-cost minion. Stats on this are not great at all, especially for 7. And he could be silenced, so this could be a wasted turn if your opponent runs silences, because this minion is not scary at all in terms of its own stats. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would play it or not. All right, I think we're just gonna call the stream for now, and I will review more cards at a later date, and hope that you guys enjoyed this stream, and if you like it, just be sure to follow and let me know, send me a message, whatever, and let me know that you'd like to see some more of this, because it's the first time I've tried it. So have a good one.
I'm helpless when I'm oceans away.